Good day, everyone. My name is Sydney Onyekwere. I'm with TAPPI. I'd like to welcome you to today's webinar titled Managing Staff Turnover and Knowledge Gaps. Which training solutions should you apply? Sponsored by IBC Paper Training. At a time when the industry is facing increasing technical staff turnover, an effective training solution for your technical manpower is crucial. This webinar will discuss solutions for transferring knowledge and know-how internally on the job via organized, fun, and effective training learning paths. Today's presenters are Isabelle Barret, CEO, and Celine Destinet, Assistant Manager with IBC. This presentation and its discussions will be held in compliance with TAPPI's antitrust policy. TAPPI's aim is to promote research and education and to arrange for the collection, dissemination, and interchange of technical concepts and information in fields of interest to its members. TAPPI is not intended to and may not play any role in the competitive decisions of its members or their employers, or in any way restrict competition among companies. Please note, if you have any questions throughout the webinar, please type them in the Q&A feature on the bottom of your screen, and we will address all questions at the end of the presentation. Today's webinar will also be recorded. At the end of the webinar, the browser will prompt you to take a brief survey, and within 24 to 48 hours after the webinar, an email with a link to the recording and a PDF copy of the presentation slides will be sent to all registrants in attendance today. And without further ado, I'd like to turn it over to our first presenter, Celine.
Thank you so much, Sydney. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to a webinar about staff turnover and knowledge gaps. We're very excited to be with you today. We're going to discuss which training solutions you can use and how to move forward with this issue in our industry. Thank you so much. So as Sydney said, sorry about that. The first glitch, it has to happen. So as Sydney said, this is Isabelle, our CEO. I'm Celine, Assistant Manager. And as I said, we're very excited to be here today. I'm Celine, pronounce Celine and not ceiling. This was an issue for me when I was an exchange student in Colorado back 20 years ago. And I've been working for IBC for 5 years now. And it's a great company that I'm so excited to be part of. We're always rooting for new solutions and new training solutions. So without further ado, Isabelle, on to you.
Thank you very much, Celine. So hello, everyone. I'm Isabelle Barret, the CEO of IBC Paper Training. So I believe you can hear from which country I'm coming from, or we are coming from. Yep, it's France. You can hear it with my accent. So sorry for this, but you will have to deal with it for at least the coming 45 minutes. So we are based in east part of France, close to Strasbourg, close to the German border. And originally, I'm a paper engineer, and I created the company in 2006. When we told to our friend that we're going to make a conference at TAPPI webinar conference. So the people were telling us, yes, you know, American, they like to go to the point, they are straightforward, they are pragmatic, they love the storytelling. So that's what we are going to try to do today. So we hope that you're going to enjoy it.
All right, just to give you a little background, I mean, some of you have probably heard from us on LinkedIn or websites or by TAPPI or, you know, any other way of communication. As Isabelle said, she created the company back in 2006, and it's been growing ever since. We're a very small company. We're only 6 people. So as you can see, we're really small, but really we're working worldwide. We've been implementing training solutions all over the world. Just to give you an idea, we have customers in Europe, Middle East, South Asia, South Africa, and South America. So we've been working with companies such as SCT, Softies in Chile, Smurfit Kappa, Etihad Paper Mill in the Middle East. So we're small, and that gives us the strength to be close to our customers, and we're always trying to focus on what our customer needs. So lately we've been, discussing with a lot of our customers, and the issue that keeps coming back is just that there is a lot of staff turnover in our industry. So we were wondering what we could do about this and how we could work around this industry issue. And this is why we're here today. We want to discuss this and to show you the solution that we came up with. So let us show you our onboarding learning path. So you might have heard of the term onboarding learning path, maybe not. So what is basically an onboarding learning path? We created this personalized training path that you can set up for all your newcomers. It is set up to be a step-by-step solution, a perfect mix between online and on-site program that could be easily distributed to your staff. It's going to be mentored by a peer of your choice, just like you would do. Maybe we can see that after the webinar, and maybe some of you can tell us how you're training your staff right now, but usually you designate a peer and then you pair up the staff and they can learn together. So this learning path will be a perfect mix, of online and on-site training solution. They have to learn online, just as you can see in the small video that's playing in the background, online solution, and then they go on site and they're assessed by their peer, and just to make sure that they understand correctly what they've seen online. So this solution, we noticed, because as I said, we're really close to our customers. This small team effect can give us this richness, and I think it's great. Usually nowadays, when you hire new staff, they don't usually have that paper making background. There are no paper school available anymore. And so basically we just hire people that are willing to work, even though they don't have any specific background, especially in the paper making area. So, and also what we've noticed is that back in the day, as I was saying before, you could pair up your newcomer with a peer that could, train them. They just had to repeat what they saw from experienced staff. But this is no longer the case, because experienced people are on the go. Maybe they're going to retirement, or they just leave the company because staff turnover is so high that we wanted that this onboarding learning path could give them a strong background to start with, but also could be supported with a peer no matter what, but to give them this really strong background to get started. So we decided to put this into effect. And one thing that we always say to our customers, and I think you'll tell us if we're wrong, but what we always say is that the knowledge and the know-how of your machine staff belong to your company. So you have to make sure that the knowledge and the know-how that you provide and the training that you provide stays within your company, because once your experienced staff go, their knowledge and know-how are gone with them. So this is something that we'll be discussing later on in the presentation, but this is something to keep in mind. And the learning path, as we have imagined it, is doing this job as well to keep your knowledge and know-how safe. So we've been working with this solution for a while now, and as you can see, why you should use the onboarding learning path. It's really it spreads and level up the knowledge really efficiently and rapidly. It also improved the motivation analysis capacity. We'll see it later on, but the fact that you train your staff is definitely a win-win situation, and we'll show you that later on in the presentation. You also improve their investment and their loyalty to your company, because never forget a staff member that you invest in is going to feel so much more included in your company and so much more important in your company. So this is something to keep in mind. We'll talk about it later on as well. And this onboarding learning path will reduce your staff turnover, because your staff member is on board right away and they know what they're doing and they understand why they're doing it. So we'll see it more in detail later on. Isabelle, if you want to keep going.
Thank you very much, Céline. Here we can see a graph about productivity, quality, and knowledge know-how. And whatever you are doing, you need to teach to the operators, or to give knowledge, to transfer knowledge, know-how, to increase quality and increase productivity. As Céline said, nowadays in the world, there are not so many engineering schools left, or even technician schools who in the past were supposed to create, to deliver some operators with a good paper-making background. This does not exist anymore. I know that there is one left in France, close to Grenoble, maybe some in Germany, few of them, but like England, I think they don't have it anymore. I don't know in America, North America, if you have still some engineering school. But there are no school anymore, so we have to, in a way, reinvent something to compensate this lack of knowledge. In the past, we were also used to train people with some experienced peer, as Céline said. And some of the operators, they were used to imitate their peer. So this was not perfect, but it could work because they had the time to build experience over the years. But nowadays, this people doesn't exist anymore. So yeah, people with a lot of experience. But also is that the new operators, most of the time, they leave the company before they can build their own experience. So that's why we have to compensate this lack of experience years by, in a way, giving them immediately when they are coming in the mill some knowledge to be able to understand and to analyze. Because if they understand why, they are able to analyze, and then they are not just imitating. So they don't need experience, at least not like it was in the past. So that's why we created this onboarding learning path, to make sure that they understand what they are doing immediately. They understand why they are here, why they are, what they are producing, what is the end use of the production, and of course, then like this, they can build their knowledge, and then it results in quality increase and, of course, productivity increase. We had some, of course, we have plenty of customers a little bit everywhere in the world. Let's say in the past 5-6 years, we were asked to give training for new machines startup. So we had a lot of machine startup lately. So that means that we train the entire team. Most of the time, they don't have knowledge at all about paper making. They are coming from, even sometimes not from the industry. So we have to build their knowledge from the scratch. So we had machine startup like ICT, like Twin Saver in South Africa. We also had converting line in Norseskog, where we trained the complete 2 or 3 or even 5 teams in a row. What we can see also that most of the time the company, they have knowledge somewhere, they have procedure, know-how, but they don't know how to organize it. So we help them to organize it. This also helps to better control your manpower. And of course, all this work that we are doing during the creation of the learning path, all this work is reusable. So it's quite flexible. So that means as soon as you have a newcomers in the industry, then you can immediately access to the learning path, and it can start immediately. And like also Céline said, at the end, when you think about it, your knowledge and your know-how, it belongs to the company, it does not belong to the people. Of course, the people, they build experience, they build knowledge, but at the end, the company has to secure his knowledge and his know-how. Otherwise, then when we have a few experienced people left in the company, then we cannot run it anymore. So that's why you need to have a way of transfer this knowledge and know-how, to secure it and to transfer it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very true. So story time. All right, because we've been talking, we've been explaining how we came up with that idea, but we have a little story to share with you. So as Isabelle said at the beginning, we're based in the east of France. So this paper mill based near Strasbourg, which is also in the east of France, called us 2 years ago. So this is an old story. They were producing high quality paper, high added value. Everything was going pretty great. 2 machines running. Pretty much the great company. And then one day the HR manager called Isabelle, and she was like, okay, we're having an issue. We have this machine tender that is going into retirement at the end of next week. All right, so we basically had like 10 days to train to make sure that the knowledge could be transferred. So it was a little bit like of a panicky situation because she didn't know what to do. Nothing had been planned beforehand, and this person was going into retirement. We're French people, so obviously we're not going to do any extra time. If it's your time, you go. So basically he had to go, and there was nobody to take over his knowledge. So this person was taking his knowledge and know-how with him. And so obviously, I mean, the situation was pretty bad, and so this person was leaving, and then they had to close down the mill, not because no panic. It didn't close because of that person leaving, but they were facing other difficulties, and with no experienced staff to be, transferring knowledge and know-how, they were going straight to the wall. So this was pretty bad. However, this company has been bought back since then, and the new owners actually contacted us, and they were like, okay, we're going to start up the machines again. What can we do? We know you do training, so only newcomers, what can we put into place? So this time we're working with them and we're making sure to set up onboarding learning paths just to make sure that the situation doesn't repeat itself. Because obviously they heard from it from the past owners, and now they just want to make sure that everything is secured, organized, and make sure that this kind of situation doesn't happen ever again. As I said, it didn't close because of that one person, but it adds up to everything. And this is an example that I'm pretty sure we could see somewhere else, like the most experienced person leave for whatever reason, and then what next? And we need to anticipate this for sure. So this was our little story. This is a quote that we really like over here at IBC. The only thing worse than training your employees and them leave is not training them and having them stay. We definitely believe in training. We believe in team playing and making your staff feel like they're really part of your team. And I think this is so important, especially when you're onboarding newcomers. They need to feel welcome. They need to feel involved and feeling valued. Because if you give them training, they're going to feel valued. They'll be like, hey, my employer is investing in me. I'm important. I matter. And they want me to stay. They want me to be part of the team. So we need to make sure that they feel like they're in good hands. And the onboarding learning pass is also another tool to make sure that they feel included.
Okay, so it's the employees who make your competitive advantage and not machines. It's the employees who develop, reinvent your company and not machine. So we like this quote: you don't build a business, you build people, and then people build the business. So if you look nowadays, of course, in our working population, we are facing several generations, and all the generations are different. And nowadays, we have to face today's situation. Everything changed very fast. We had to face some issues like COVID, so we have to reinvent ourselves. We are also living at the time of the social network. All of this make it different than in the past. So it's not that a situation is better than another one. It's just that we have to adapt ourselves. And nowadays we have to keep with the staff turnover. So we have to be able to reduce it at its minimum. And this we can do it by, like Céline said also, by making sure that the people are invested in the company, so that we are not losing our knowledge, know-how, and productivity. So we need to invest in machine staff as soon as they arrive in the mill. And as you invest in a new automated machines or new equipment to reduce energy or to optimize maybe your water loops, you should also invest also in the machine stuff, especially that nowadays, because the machine are more and more with automation and control system. It's not that they don't have to do a lot, but they have to keep on the machine a lot, so they are not acting so much anymore. But when there is some issues on the process, then they should be able to analyze it. So that's why they have to understand why they are doing this or that, or why this is set up like this or like another way. So so that's why we really need to adapt to the situation. And now we can show some figures that are quite interesting. If you looked at the first figure, 85% of people who left their job in 2023, sorry, would certainly not have left it if they had had training. So this shows that people would like to invest themselves. They would like that the company take care of them and help them to grow and to build knowledge. And if you looked at the second figure, which is quite impressing, $12,000. This is the cost of a disengaged employee. And one of the way to give them engagement is to motivate them and train them as soon as they arrive. Like this, they feel that you are taking care of them. And it's also regarding safety issue because if your people are not trained enough, then nowadays we see more and more that there is some work accident in the paper mill or pulp mill or converting lines. This is because the operators, they cannot evaluate the risk because they don't know what they are doing and what are maybe the chemical involved and what are maybe the pressure involved. And then they don't realize that they take some risk. And then we come back with the fact that nowadays we have, let's say, a growing in work accidents that was not in the past.
Okay, so we've been storytelling, we've been figure telling. Let's see now, how the onboarding learning path actually works. So we're gonna go over a little bit. Sorry.
Sorry.
No worries. It's hard to present with two people. All right, so we're going to show you a little bit about how the onboarding learning path works after I'm done with this slide. We just wanted to show you that the onboarding learning path is always adapted to your process. We're going to work with your screenshots. We're going to get infos from your company. It is paced and followed by a peer. As I said at the beginning, you always designate someone to assess what's going on and how the learner is progressing on the learning path. It's a mix between theory and on-site training. We're going to show you afterwards. There are some operating sheets and guided practice that they have to do, and they have to go on the machine and go on site and check them out. And it's also very pedagogic because what Isabel didn't say, it's that one of her passions, and I'm not exaggerating, she's always on the lookout for new, neurosciences, articles, and new pedagogic ways to do things. And so she's really passionate about this. So this solution, as came with a lot of redoing and do like this and no, maybe switch it up and do something different, because she's always on the lookout for new stuff and new ways to do training. So this is something pretty great and really we're pretty proud of. Right now, what we have available as onboarding learning paths, we've been working on stock prep operator, machine tender assistant, machine tender, and window operator, and we're working on other positions right now as well. So this is what we have available right now and ready to be used. So let's move on with the demo.
Yeah, with the demo, so we're going to go directly to our learning management system. So hopefully you can see now our learning management system. This is the view of the learner login. So every learner has his own login. And it's individual access. So here he can visualize the course he has to go through. So here as an example, we have shown two, let's say, learning paths. The first one is window operator, and The second one is stock preparation operator. As you can see, so it's divided in several chapters or content. The first one is always a tutorial on how to navigate on the platform and on the learning management system. And the way it's developed, we are always going from the, let's say, the global view, and then we go deeper and deeper on the equipment or the quality. But first, we always have very wide view of the job function. So sorry, I have to do like this. So here, for instance, we can go inside. So you will be able to see the content. We have audio also, but here I believe in the Zoom you cannot hear the audio, but we have some audio. So for instance, here we have some theoretical content. Okay, it's built with video, with animation. We've also, like for instance, the meal overview. So to make sure that they have the basic of paper making, how the paper mill is built. Then we can go deeper. So here you can see there are several things. Then we can go to the job function of the person. So then we go on so for instance, the stock preparation process. When we are, let's say, showing something or explaining something, immediately after, we'll ask the learner to make exercise. So we build it in such a way that the learner has always to do something, so he cannot sleep in front of the, okay, and then he can exercise himself, herself. If you look on this first, we also include safety, paper making basics, like what is a flow, a pressure, etc. And we also include always guided practice. So if I go back, then I will show you how it looks like when we go deeper. For instance, if we go to the refining, here you can see when we go and talk about refiners, then we go more in details. We have also 3D animation, which make it easier to understand. Okay, then they can easily click and understand the refining in quite fast. What we also do, and that's how we create the learning path, is that we insert some screen view from your process. It can be screen view or some other document that is useful for the learning path. Like here, the learner can recognize his own process. It's always easier to learn in a familiar environment. Like this, you don't have to add extra step. That means learn as generic and then go to your own environment. Immediately here, he can just learn on his own process, and of course, you can see the explanation, etc. We insert also what we call guided practice. because when he has acquired theory, it's not over. Then he has to go on the field and look by himself, maybe ask a colleague, or maybe ask his boss or some other colleague. But his brain is in action. When Céline was saying that I like a lot studying the neurosciences and pedagogy. Actually, yes, I like a lot to understand how the brain is functioning, to transfer it to our development, to make the training much faster and much more efficient. So here we have some guided practice, and we also create what we call the setup sheet. Here, okay, of course, you see that it's not completely finalized, this one, but there are some tips and settings that we give to the paper maker that help him to understand what's happening if my setup is too low or if my setup is too high, and what are the risks that I take, and if I have to pay attention or if there are things that I should not do. And this, at the end, we always end with knowledge assessment. Ah, okay.
You didn't pass?
No, I didn't pass. So here are the type of question we are using. So here you can see the correction, actually. So here it's correct, and the red is when I answer wrong. But you see that there are several ways of asking questions, and this is adapted to your process. So that means we take your process and we ask the question, important question. So that's about it for the demo. And of course, when you are on the side of the administrative view, which you cannot see now, we can follow the progression like here of each participant or each learner, so we can follow them. So I'm going back to the presentation now.
Yes.
Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Isabel. So as Isabel just mentioned, as you've seen just this quick slide to show that indeed we always insert like adapted content like the screen view, the guided practice, the operating sheet. So really what we're trying to focus in the learning path is the more adapted to your meal, the better. Obviously, we're gonna need your help for this, but this is something really important to make sure that it's adapted to what you want and what your learners will need. You might wonder how this is going to work. So your company, your site becomes the owner of the learning path, the generic and the adapted parts. This is all yours. And it can be hosted on our LMS, just as Isabel just showed you. You can register to a package, or you can host it on your own LMS if you're equipped to do so. So this is how it works for now. All right. Trying to make sure that we stay on time. So we've been talking a lot about the onboarding learning paths, but we also have this offer of advanced e-learning. So I'm just gonna go over these two solutions. So as you can see, it pretty much speaks for itself. So the learning paths are adapted to your process, just as we saw just before. It's a training by position, as you can see, stock prep operator, machine tender, window operator. This is really a position training whereas the advanced e-learning will be training by topics related to the paper and tissue industry. And it's only generic content. This is not adapted to your meal. It's just, really focused on different topics. So these are the two training that we can provide for staff turnover. Just a quick recap about our solution. Once again, it's pretty much speaks for itself. So the onboarding learning path is adapted, as I said. It's really targeted to machine staff, operators, newcomers. It's really the basic knowledge to hold the position. Basic doesn't mean that it doesn't have a strong background, because as I said at the beginning, we make sure that it gives them a strong background with all the basics. They're, after following the onboarding learning path, they will be able to hold their position. So this is adapted. And then the advanced e-learning is really more of a more advanced solution, because it's going to increase the knowledge, the know-how, and the competencies. And this solution is more targeted to machine staff operators with some experience already, technicians, newcomer engineers in the industry. So this is something a little, as I said, more advanced, and that can be for another type of population in your meal, but this is something that works as well. So this is the two main solutions that we wanted to show you today. And then we have something new.
And we have something new, yes, indeed. We are working nowadays to help our customer to build their own learning path. So we help them with pedagogic insight consulting. We started, let's say, 1 year ago, yeah, something like this. And then we have big customer nowadays in converting line that request from us to help the team on site to build their own learning path. So by this, we help them to create the competencies grid that correspond to the job function. We help them to build the content they want to insert in the learning path, also how they should insert the content in the learning path, what type of pedagogy they should use according to the job function. So everything to support them and to help them to create their own learning path, because they have at the beginning, they always have a lot of, as we said at the beginning, a lot of procedure, some presentation somewhere, sometimes some video, or there are plenty of things that can be useful for learning path, but they don't know how to organize it in a pedagogic way. So we help them doing this, and we help them to make sure that at the end they can validate all the competencies that are required and requested for the job function. And by this, they want to give to the worker more autonomy and much faster. So by this, of course, once again, we always start always all along the learning path by explaining the why. Like this, they will be able to analyze. You understand and you remember much more when you understand it. If you don't understand the concept, you're not able to remember it forever. In few months or maybe immediately, you don't remember it. So that's what we are nowadays doing lately, and we are also involved more and more in converting lines because we have a new resource, a new trainer that have experience in converting lines and also in maintenance. So it also helped to go in the converting business.
I think we're done.
I think we are done. So I don't know if we are on time or what time is it?
I think we did pretty great. It's time for questions and stuff, I guess.
Yeah, maybe there are some, I think I saw in the chat.
Yes.
Some question, no.
Make good time. Thank you, Isabel and Celine, for your presentation. At this time, we'd like to open up the discussion to any questions from the audience that the audience may have for the presenters. Please remember, if you have any questions, please type them in the Q&A feature on the side of your screen now. And we'll give everyone a few minutes to type out your questions.
Yeah.
And again, it will be the Q&A feature. We got some questions rolling in. So a question that just came in is, can you please explain what is needed to set up an access for a newcomer once the learning path exists and is ready to use?
Sure. Do you want to do that one? Or should I? Okay. Well, it's pretty easy. That's something that we didn't go over, but it's pretty easy. Once the learning path exists and it's being ready to use, what we need from the customer will be first name and last name of the learner, and then an email address, and that's all it takes. So it's pretty easy. We just need these infos, and then we can set up the access, and it's ready to go, ready to use. It's personal. This is something that it's not transferable. It's really related to the learner that you decide. So it's pretty easy. I mean, it doesn't take much to get the access going.
Perfect. And then we have another one that appears to be from a potentially international attendee, but how do you work on learning paths when you're in France and we're over here? How does that work?
That's a good one. Well, basically, we'll be working when you sleep. No, I mean, time zones won't be an issue. I mean, we understand that it might be a little weird, so to speak, but everything can be done online. We can, access to your info via, Teams meeting or Zoom meetings or whatever. Time zone are really not an issue, as it's only 5, almost 6 over here. It's noon your time, or different time zone won't be an issue. We can work online. We can also come over to the mill and actually do all the info gathering that we will need to set up the learning path, like pictures, screenshot, videos, or whatever you want to include in your learning path. This is something that we can do. We can travel to your mill, meet with the team, make sure that we're on the same page. It's either on site or online. Both are possible. So,
and we are used to it because we had, especially just before the COVID, we had a big customer named Softies, and with them we worked a lot, and we built also the LMS with them, and also the content. So we are used to travel and or to work via Visio, via Zoom or via Teams or whatsoever. So for us, it's not a problem at all.
Perfect. Thank you. And another question is, can you please go over the different steps setting up an onboarding learning path?
Okay, should I do this one? Okay, I'll do this one. So, okay, the different steps, I'll try to be quick and straight to the point. What we'll do first a kickoff meeting with everyone involved in both of the companies. This kickoff meeting will be setting up expectations and required materials. We're going to tell you what we need to gather from you. You're going to tell us what you expect from the onboarding learning path. Then we're going to set up a schedule with deadlines for everyone involved. Obviously, this can be done online, as we said, or on site, whatever is easiest for the customer. And then we'll be using a list that we'll provide to you so you can actually give us the documentation that we need, either on site or online, once again. Then internally, we're going to work on your documentation, screenshots, videos, photos, whatever needs to be integrated in the learning path. And then we're probably going to do another Teams meeting to make sure that everything is understood on both sides and that everything is going smoothly. And then our team is going to develop the learning path adapted to your process. And when this is done, we're going to submit a link to you, and you can go on to review mode and let us know if you have comments, if things don't feel right or something is missing. Then we're always in this close, tight-knit relationship with our customers, making sure that everything is perfect as they need. So there are going to be a lot of exchanges and a lot of different steps, but this is pretty much about it. A little bit of meetings at first to get started and make make sure everything is set up and running, and then you're good to go and free to use the learning path as you please. So I hope this answers the question. Anything else?
Thank you for that explanation. We do have another question. So does the admin profile allow for running reports, or would we have to track, or would we have to track completed training separately?
No, it allows reports.
Yeah.
Progression reports. You can see a lot of things. Maybe
show, I don't know.
Yeah, you can explain maybe.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you can have access to report as a group manager. Once the onboarding learning paths are being set up, you can get access to all your learners, and you can track their progress on each training, and you're able to do like export on Excel, for example, or on PDF or whatever, but you're able to really follow and track the progress. So just in case someone is like, yeah, I'm not going to do this, this is not interesting, you can, as a group manager that you're going to be designating in your company, you can check and see how is everyone doing. So this is something definitely that you can do. You can rely on us as well. I mean, I do it for some of our customers because they don't have the time to do it. So they're like, ceiling, can you provide me a progress report and let me know how they're doing? And I just check for them and let them know. As Isabel is showing on the screen, you can see the progression over here. But then also, if you click on the eye, you can see, the connection time, the last connection, as everything is unfolding. So, and of course, you can visualize this for each learner. I hope this answers the question.
Again, I will open up the discussion for a few more questions for those maybe who type a bit more slowly. I'll offer a few more moments for any last questions.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Perfect. Well, I want to say thank you again to our presenters, Isabel Beret and Celine Destinet, and to IBC Paper Training for today's presentation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, everyone, for being with us. We hope It was interesting and not too boring.
And we hope we can see you or meet
Yeah.
you somewhere.
Yep.
So do not hesitate to contact us. You have our contact. So
Yes. Thank you so much,
thank
everyone.
you so much.
And as a reminder
Have a
to the
nice day.
audience, please stay online for a few more moments after the webinar ends to complete a brief survey. We encourage you to take the survey so that we can get proper feedback on how to better serve you through these presentations. Again, an email with the link to the recording and a PDF copy of the presentation slides you just saw today will be sent to all registrants within 24 to 48 hours. I want to appreciate you all for your time, and this concludes today's webinar. The survey will launch now. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you.